So today I want to talk about a topic that has sometimes troubled me, and it is about how you can find the right financial goal for you. Now, there's lots of noise on social media and on different blogs and YouTube channels about all these different people that have different goals. Some people might be working towards investing their first £50,000, or they might be working on their emergency fund or paying off debt or trying to build a property portfolio. And all of these sound like great, fantastic goals. But how do you know which one is right for you? Now, I've had various financial goals in the past, and I have some that I am working on now. But it has been a journey for me to work out which ones are right for me at this moment in my life. So welcome to the Looking After Your Pennies YouTube channel. My name is Charlotte Jessup, and I talk about all things to do with finance. My passion is education, and I want to give you the skills and knowledge to make the right decisions for your situation. Now, choosing a financial goal can feel like a big task. You might feel like you have a financial goal already, but you may be not feeling particularly clear on the direction that you're going in. Now, I think that there are lots of inspirational accounts and channels and things like that out there that have lots of content about how they're working towards their financial goal. But some of these may feel out of reach to you, or they may feel unattainable, or they may not quite resonate with where you are at in your particular journey at the moment. So I thought it would be handy for me to lay out a few steps that could help you work out what your financial goal is. So the first step is to recognize the motivation. What is it that is encouraging you to seek out some new financial goal? Now, probably if you're looking for how to find your financial goal on YouTube, or if you've stumbled across my account, then you'll probably have something in your life that is motivating you to do something better with your finances. Now, this could be that there is something maybe that you dislike about your current financial situation, or maybe you have seen others achieving amazing things with their money and you are drawn towards some of that success. Understanding what that motivation is really powerful in helping you figure out what your goal might be. It could be that you have seen your parents struggle with money their whole life and you don't want to be in that situation for yourself or for your family. So actually you are moving away from some of the negativity that maybe existed in your childhood around your finances. Perhaps COVID maybe brought some things to your attention. Perhaps you realized that maybe you weren't in as financially strong a position as you thought you were. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you've seen a friend have, really great success, or you're seeing people online that have done particularly well and they have similar skills and experiences to you. Or maybe you just fancy an epic holiday, or you fancy living life a little more. And that is what is drawing you to making more money or building a more financially sustainable situation. Recognizing what that motivation is key. And also, it is particularly important to recognize the emotions that are there. What is it that you dislike about this situation? And what is it that you like about this situation? What is it that is drawing you one way or the other, maybe pushing you away from those negative situations and pulling you towards those positive ones? When you tap into that, it really helps you to understand what particular aspects are motivating you and what you really don't want and what you really do want. So number 2 is to think about the lifestyle. Quite often we get caught up on the idea of, say, I want a good emergency fund. And we can set that as a goal, but actually that's not what we really want. An emergency fund is just a tool or an instrument that enables us to create something else. And normally what we're trying to achieve when we're looking to build an emergency fund is that we want some sort of stability. We want some sort of cushion in our lives that we can fall back on. It removes some of the worry and the stress that we have about our finances and enables us to feel more confident and maybe take a few more risks in other areas. So rather than looking at what you particularly want to focus on, say paying off debt, saving for a house deposit, etc., think instead about what you want your life to feel like. How do you want to feel? What do you want things to look like? So a great task for this is to do something called the perfect day. So this is where you look at what your ideal day would look like. What would you do as soon as you open your eyes? What would you see when you woke up? What would you have for breakfast? What would you do with the kids? Would they go to school? What would their school look like? What would you then spend the rest of the day doing? All of these different elements are actually just designing the lifestyle that you actually want. And then you can focus more on the goals that are going to make that lifestyle happen. So step 3 is to set a big goal first. So often we focus on kind of like the nitty-gritty details, like, oh, actually I want £1,000 in my emergency fund, or I want this, or I want that. And actually this isn't working towards that ideal lifestyle. What you need is a bigger goal, a maybe more encompassing goal. So this could be something like, I want to have enough passive income that I can live off that and not have to work. Something like that. That's a much bigger goal. Or you can think about something like, I want to pay off my mortgage. Now, that's going to be something that's going to require several smaller steps first. You might need to do some other things. There may be some medium-term goals and some shorter-term goals that need to happen before you can pay off your mortgage. So maybe think about what that bigger goal might be. Now, think about the things that really matter to you. It could be that it's your family, and actually you want more time to spend with your family. That's a great goal, but you need to get a bit more specific. Make sure this is a SMART goal. So it needs to be something that is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and has some sort of time frame. So make it something that you can actually work towards. So this could be, in 5 years, I want to have paid off my mortgage in full so that I can look at reducing my hours at work. Okay, so it's got all of those things that can happen. It might take longer than that. It might be in 10 years I want to pay off my mortgage. But make it a big goal and put some of the emotion, put some of those lifestyle choices into it too. So you know exactly why you are working towards this situation. Now, step 4 is to look at the medium-term goals. So there could be some other things that need to happen first. So this could be something, if we're taking the mortgage example, like you need to remortgage because you need to get on a lower rate. It could be something like you want to just get the first £100,000 of your mortgage paid off. These things are kind of like your, 2 to 3 year, basically anything from 1 year to 4 years, steps and goals that you're going to work towards. It's just a case of breaking this bigger goal into smaller chunks. Now, your goal could be something completely different. You could be wanting to retire at 50. Now, what would need to happen before you can retire at 50? Well, you might need to have £20,000 saved by the end of next year. Well, you might need to have £100,000 saved in 3 years, 4 years. Whatever that goal is, you need to break it down into smaller mid-term goals. Now, again, these can feel like they're a little bit out there and, out of reach at the moment, but it really helps to give you some more clarity. You know that you have this big goal, I want to retire early, I want the mortgage paid off, I want this, and this is all about your lifestyle. Then the medium-term goals make it a bit more realistic. They bring it a little bit closer to home. So you know that in 2 or 3 years, you can make that thing happen. Or you could at least be partway towards it. You could be partway towards realizing this situation, this lifestyle, this motivating factor in your life is going to come to reality. But that final step is to look at the shorter term goals. Now, this is really breaking it down. It really needs to be broken down into smaller steps. And I think this is the part where people actually feel like they have something that they're working towards. So those big goals that we talked about earlier on, they're the dream. That's the ideal. That's what we really want to happen. But when we break it down into smaller goals, this is where we can really focus. This is where we become really motivated. So this could be things like, I want my first £100 in my savings account at the end of this month. Or I want to open a savings account. Or I want to open an investment account. Or I want to find all those old pensions that I have and consolidate them, okay? All of this is going to be specific to what your big goal is and then what your medium-term goals are. But these are the things that you're focusing on day to day. These are much easier to get on board with and feel like you're accomplishing them. So make sure that they are necessarily small. It might be that you need something you can do this week and then something you can do by the end of the month or something you can do by the start of next year. All of these things need to be manageable, and again, they need to be smart targets, things that you can work towards, but also make sure they're things that you can tick off fairly rapidly. You might find that you need to readdress your short-term goals and, do this every few months. You might take off a load and then you need to reassess, like, right, well, now what needs to happen? Now what needs to happen to make this a reality? How do I achieve that midterm goal? And then, once you've reached that midterm goal, like, what happens? What's the next midterm goal? What are the smaller, shorter term goals that need to happen in order to achieve that? Then you'll find these short-term goals, and you're ticking them off, and you're achieving them, what you're working towards, that day, that week, that month. Then you're achieving those midterm goals, and that feels super, that's super exciting. You're really happy about that. And then there's only a few of these midterm goals before you've actually achieved that much bigger goal. So although, you might still need to do some soul searching about what your financial goal is, when you break it down, when you look at the lifestyle that you want, how you want to live your life, what is motivating you to make that a reality, and then break it down into smaller chunks, actually that's where the motivation comes in. That's where you are working towards something. So let me give you an example. So my husband and I, we would love to go traveling again. So we have set ourselves a bit of a target. So the big goal is we want to go traveling. The kind of medium-term goal is that we need like £10,000 saved up, and this is in addition to some of the other things we've got going on in the background, like investing and our pensions and, saving for our kids. So, it's not going to necessarily be particularly fast, but we know that we're working towards that midterm goal. We then also have kind of shorter term goals. So, we want to save, £1,000 this month, or £500 this month, or we want to start a new side hustle that we can use that money to funnel into that £10,000 goal. So these are all the steps that need to happen. Naturally, going traveling is not just going to be a case of we get £10,000 and then we're off. There are going to be some other steps involved in that too. So we're going to need to look at a bigger picture. But in terms of the finances, we've got short-term goals that we're working on towards to make that happen now. We've got the midterm goal, which is that £10,000, and then that all feeds into that much bigger goal. Now, I hope this has given you the motivation to do some self-reflection around this particular topic. Think about the goals that are right for you. And you can always look at other people for inspiration. Which people, like online or in your friendship group, are doing the sorts of things that you want to be doing in your life. And if you find some that really makes you go, yeah, that's it, and it's not just jealousy, you're not just envious of their current situation, then work on that. Find a goal, set it out, make a plan. And if you make a plan, your chances of it happening are going to increase significantly. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I am back every week with 2 new videos on Tuesdays and Fridays. So make sure you hit that like button, you hit that subscribe button to check out the next one. And I would love to hear what your financial goals are. So make sure you drop those in the comments and I can help keep you accountable. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.